Welcome to another adventure of Alaska Tours. Most of the day today we're doing Whitehorse, the Yukon in Canada. This is Pioneer RV Park. Kind of tight spaces, but it was okay. Welcome to Whitehorse, the capital of the Yukon. We're getting ready to do a bus tour today, checking out sights and sounds of Whitehorse. First stop is the Miles Canyon. Yeah, it's Miles Canyon. It's a little narrow strip that was going on the Yukon River, where boats from way back when used to go across to get this little narrow section. Lots of hiking trails on the other side of the river. You have to cross this suspension bridge. This is a osprey. It was trying to look for some lunch. There's your suspension bridge. You had to go across. Lots of trails on the other side. Beautiful area. The water's crystal clear, kind of got that bluish green tint to it. Most of us went across the other side just to say we went across the other side. It was fun. But look at all that forest land and everything's out there. Yeah, we got to cross it. See the wires are hanging down low there? That's an aerial view from a different distance. There's the bridge. This is the watch out, wild horse, white horse. Hang on to your seatbelts, please. Hang on. We're getting ready to go to do a little flying. But yeah, just lots of forest land out here. The water is just that greenish tint, but you see all the trails on the other side. There's lots of trails on the other side. As we're flying close to the bridge, you notice on the left-hand side, there are cables going across the river there attached to the bridge. Well, I didn't see them until I had a look and the drone actually stopped before it hit them. So that was a good thing. It could have been a splashdown on the drone. We have cables going across the rocks to the bridge on both sides. And so we went under the suspension bridge. Imagine years ago when those big boats went through there. This was the way to get from Dawson City to Whitehorse. Stops along the way, get to check out the view from the top. There's the bridge down below. We also got to see the SS Klondike. It's a stern wheeling ship. She ran freight from Whitehorse to Dawson City. One of them objects are for. Along the Yukon River. The first from 1929 through 1950. So now that vessel is a National Historic Site in Whitehorse. That is a cord of wood that they have to use every hour to help fuel that thing going up and down the river. It used to go inside, but now they're restoring it, so hopefully in a couple of years I'll have it able to go back inside of the SS Klondike. So check it out when you're down in Whitehorse. This is a National Historic Monument site. And they use the claws of the dredgers for planter boxes. This is the Yukon River, flowing to the town of Whitehorse. This is downtown Whitehorse. We got dropped off a couple at the train station there at the end. Got to spend an hour and a half or so walking around the little downtown area. We got to shop, and of course had to eat something. So we ate at a little Mexican restaurant, La Cara. That was actually very good. Downtown Whitehorse. Check it out. If you're ever down there, the Yukon River, just nice peaceful day. Actually, it was a warm day. We had statues all over the place. Whitehorse. This is a river, reservoir actually, that has float planes that will take you to parts unknown all over the place for hunting, fishing, and cabins. So there's one coming in. This is a DC-3 that's actually a weather vane. You see it moving here. Not the best. This is Whitehorse Air Tanker Base. You don't see too many of these. There's Dash 8, carries 2,000 gallons of retardant or water. Tanker 540. They're used mostly in Canada, and they have been certified here in the lower 48. So the next day, we get to hang out with the dogs. Yukon Quest. This was called
the dog's showing us where to go.
MukTur Adventures. We got to hear the story about how this place became MukTur, and they also do the Iditarod, and they do the Yukon Quest. They have over 100 dogs. There's 10 or 15 that are retired. They also fed us some buffalo burgers and hamburgers.
You know what you feed your dogs. If you know the number, a lot of people don't even pay real attention to it. It's just the dogs like the food, so I feed it to them. But I think most commonly it's probably when you touch metal, you have instant frostbite. It's like touching a hot plate. You have a bruise. Frostbite.
Yeah, there's some big holes. Some big ones. I know. She said they're out for hire for hole digging. Wow.
What's up, Jerry?
So we got to go check out the dogs afterwards. Most of the dogs get rotated on a daily basis. There's 2 teams that go out, 20 dogs a day that go out and do training, and then they're weeded down to the top 12 for the Iditarod or the Quest. Trina's checking out some dogs here, and some dogs are very friendly. Some dogs will run around. Some dogs, like Moon here, was kind of shy. They want to come out. Some dogs are very friendly and want to be petted. That's what they wanted, to make the dog social. Wonder why I got him. And then some dogs just lazy around, but they all get trained every day. The place is clean. There's no dog feces all over the place. They get fed well. They get taken care of well. Puppies are getting used to the idea of lazing around. And some garden art. The place is pretty big. And definitely out in the middle of nowhere. The dogs are barking and excited. And they take them out training every day, different rounds of dogs. Here's the puppy section. Take a puppy home. These are some younger dogs getting used to it. And this was called the MukTur Adventure in a Whitehorse, Alaska. They went to go check out the Yukon Transportation Museum. It started raining. I was at mile marker 917 from Dawson Creek. Here's that weather vane again. But it was pretty cool inside. Talked about a lot of the history of the Yukon territory, of how a lot of riverboats, steamboats, stern ships got in. This is the milepost book when it first started. Now it's pretty thick with 300, 400 pages. Book talks about stuff. This is the Yukon flag. Guess what's on top? Is a Yukon dog, a sleigh dog on top. That the dogs work in every kind of field there. This is the SS Klondike, a model of it. Then of course they had a lot of vehicles in the back. They had restored Ford trucks. They had Jeeps and other vehicles that were used to build the Yukon highway. That's what they found years later. And this is a fuel truck they used for, of course, fueling at the airport. And guess what? It's a Chevron truck. And an old fire truck. An ambulance, the police car next door. And an old radio. That's a big radio. Motorola. They had a model railroad set. Also, it was kind of neat. It wasn't running that day, but it was pretty big. And outside, they had displays of big equipment. That was for the tunnels. These were all fire trucks. And then met the guy. He says this little VW still runs and still works. They use it for parades and moving metal stands around. That's a pretty little awesome VW there. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please hug somebody. Love and hug from Sal and Trina.